First of all, our number 2 seed from Stoneham, Massachusetts. Today making his 26th appearance with us here on Stars and Strikes, Bob Kelly.
Okay, Bob comes in averaging 123, has a high triple of 481, and his total was second to Ron at 689.
And last week, Bob rolled a fine 401 to knock off Phil Clough in the semifinals, and that puts Bob in today's championship match against our number 1 seed. Dan was mentioning a 737 in the roll-off, making his first appearance on television from Keene, New Hampshire, Ron Simoneau.
Okay, Ron comes in averaging 124, high triple 471, and the roll-off score tops, as I said, 737.
All right, big prize money on the line today. $500 to the runner-up, $1,000 to the winner, and of course the winner also can sit back for the rest of the year knowing that he's already qualified for the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. We also have $90 in our bonus ball contest and a couple of brand new sets of bowling balls on the line too. That'll be at the end of the hour, but we've got a big match coming up and we hope you'll stay with us. Bob Kelly and Ron Simoneau for the championship when we come back. Don't go away. Welcome back. It is championship week, and we are left with our top 2 seeds. Bob Kelly with the 689 in the roll-off. Ron Simoneau with the 737. Bob Kelly with the win last week. Prior to that, Phil Clough had a win. Rico Baldinelli had a win, but nobody's been able to win 2 in a row. Of course, the beauty of this format now is even though Ron Simoneau finished 48 pins ahead, it all starts at 0 here. He doesn't get to carry any of those 48 pins in. Bob Kelly to start the match. And the spare.
Had to wait a while, but
he had kind of an unusual lead but he was able to carry it.
Swept everything to the right sidewall and everything come back to the left for the spare.
Ooh. A little light on the headpin, but it worked out all right for him. An 8 fill.
Just be careful here he doesn't cap the wood. Very nicely done.
Got
2 in a row.
Good start for Bob Kelly. And now, Ron Simoneau. Ron is a newcomer to the program. This is his first television appearance. How long has he been trying to get on television, you ask? About 8 years, he told us. And he's got a spare in his first box. That's not terribly unusual, Dan, is it, that somebody would go 6, 7, 8 years before?
I thought you meant getting a spare in the first box.
Somebody would go 6, 7, 8 years before getting that first TV spot?
Well, I've talked to a lot of people, and they get into the semifinals, and they don't make that, and they finally make a semifinal to get into the finals. You know, it's those plateaus they have to get over and get confident that they can compete at that level, and eventually they do. But I always tell most of my bowlers, you know, you're not paying an entry fee. You're paying for 5 games of practice, really, and then if you make the finals, another 5 games of practice. So think of it that way.
Well, Ron has matched Bob Kelly's 2 spares with his first 2 boxes, and he's taken the lead, at least for the moment.
Actually done 1 pin better on the fill. Bob drops 8 on his second spare. It's a 5-10 left. And shoot for the red line right next to the 5 pin. Try to jump it over into the 10.
No. Almost. And that'll be a 9. Saw Bob wave it off as he clipped the piece of wood in the channel.
It was nice to see the bowler do that. Of course, we wouldn't have gave it to him anyways, but...
But it's nice to see him.
Yes.
Good sportsmanship. That's right. And the strike.
And that's what you get.
Strike, yeah.
See? Good sport. Good things to come to who's who wait, and he had to wait a little while for that 4 pin, but there wasn't much doubt it was going to go. Look at these 9 pins. They're scrambling down and
just caught the 4 pin with the cap of the wood there on the way by. Ron Simoneau on his second straight mark, and he will have a chance at a third.
That being the 2, 5, and 7.
No, he missed it. You might have heard him. He knew it. Ron from Keene, New Hampshire. Ron is actually the only New Hampshire native of the 5 bowlers in this series on Stars and Strikes. The rest from Massachusetts. Ron's wife, Gail, is here watching the match. And they have 2 children, 6.5-year-old Justina and 4.5-year-old Alana. Like those names.
Yes, very nice. You can tell Ron is new, too, because he missed that shot. He went, ah. You veteran bowlers describe it a little more in detail.
Ron works as a mechanic at New England Label, does a lot of his bowling at the Sunset Lanes in Newport.
Oh, tried to cut the 6-pin over into the 7. Tough shot.
And he'll take the 9 for 55 through 4. And Bob Kelly will step up working on that strike in the 4th. A reminder that we tape Candlepin Stars and Strikes right here at Park Place Lanes in Wyndham, the newly redesigned Park Place Lanes, we should mention. Come on for a visit when you get a chance. If you're in the area and want to do some bowling, you can check out the new look here at Park Place Lanes. Congratulations to Nick Muskilly, the owner, and the rest of the staff here for really giving the place a whole new look and feel during the summer. It looks terrific. And while you're here, of course, if you get hungry, you want to make sure that you just walk a few steps over to Willow Tree North Restaurant, which is located right inside Park Place Lanes, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're open early in the morning till late at night. They can take care of any hunger you might have while you're here at Park Place. Great food, reasonable prices, terrific service. Rodney Cronin and the gang will take care of you at Willow Tree North. It's where the crew eats, right here at Park Place Lanes.
It's Bob 74 after 5 boxes.
Well, Bob has a mini high-low jack here, the 2, 7, and 9.
Yeah, I like that. Mini high-low jack. Never heard that.
Or the baby high-low jack, if you prefer. With wood, let's see.
Oh,
nope.
I thought his problem pin might be the 9. Turned out to be the 7.
A couple of 10 boxes for Bob, and that gives Ron Simoneau an opening. Ron and Gail actually have a 3rd child on the way. Spread eagle.
Takes out the 3 on the left. Just the 3, 6, 10 left.
And nicely worked for the 10. Keeping Ron 9 pins behind here. Just a little bit over to the Brooklyn side, and although full, he was able to carry 9, and he leaves just the 4-pin. Watch out for the wood, though.
I'd certainly take a piece of that left-hand wood, because that would come out of the gutter. Ooh.
Ooh.
I think I can't tell where he was trying to put. He just left that one out to the right, but I think the left piece of wood is your target.
Yeah, that was it. So 10s all around in the 5th and 6th. The lead stays at 9. And Bob Kelly hoping for the 6-pin to rock over, but it won't. Oh my, he landed the ball. It looked like behind the 7-pin on the back of the plate, and it did not go over. Very, very close, and it will stay a 9-box. How close was this? Let's see. Oof.
A mini drought for both bowlers now. Bob had a strike in the 4th, and that's been it for Marks. to this point.
Well, he's got another challenging leave here, the 1, 8, and 10. See how he handles this one. Oh, nice clip on the head pin. Had to get it at an angle in order to have a chance, and he gets a high five from Ron Simoneau. Nice shot. Well, Ron caught the head pin a little thin, but he caught it in the pocket, and he sets himself up with a spare lead. The wood getting better.
It's rolling back, freezing up against the 6-pin.
And the spare. That's mark number 3 for Ron. He had 2 to open the match.
Well, first things first, an 8 fill would tie the match up, and then he's going to contend with a spare up in the 8th by Bob Kelly.
$1989 was our first Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Coming up in the spring will be our 8th annual event, and the winner of this match today will be in it. And 10. Well, Bob Kelly now with a chance to increase the lead to double digits, filling this spare in the 8th. No, he gets just 3. The 1, 8, and 9. Oh, how about it? Oh, nice try.
Good effort. Good effort on the spread eagle plus that 5-pin in the middle.
And Bob will take a 9. Bob had 15 marks last week in his 401, and he will have a strike right here. He had only 2 strikes of those 15 marks a week ago. He's got 2 strikes already today.
Scatters 9 in a hurry here, leaves the 5-pin, and there comes the help off this right sidewall for the strike. 2 bonus balls, 125 now. That looks good too.
Oh, almost. And it gets the spare on the strike. 20 in the final box, and a 135 for Bob Kelly. Now Ron Simoneau. Big 737 in the roll-off at the Bowlaway Lanes in Rochester. That's 147 plus for 5 games. 737.
Spare in a 9th for Ron Simoneau.
Puts up another one here. He could take the lead with a big fill on both. Ron, I'm sure, Dan, more than anything, first game ever on television, just wanted to kind of keep things under control as much as he possibly could, keep the match close if he could. He's done that.
He's going to gain confidence as we go now. He's right on that one.
And now he may have the lead if he throws something better than a 7 on this fill. 128 plus a ball. And he's got the lead, and he almost had a strike. A 9 fill, 137 for Ron Simoneau, 135 for Bob Kelly. And we will be back with game 2 in a minute. And a reminder today about our bonus ball contest, which will be coming up at the end of the hour. That barrel is about as full as it's ever been with postcards, and we have $90 on the line at the end of the hour, in addition to a couple of Sets of brand new bowling balls from Paramount Industries. We hope you've got your cards in. If not, send them in. Make sure they're small format postcards only. And include your name, your full address, and the number from 1 to 10. The number, of course, the number of pins you think will drop on the bonus ball at the end of the hour. And be sure and mail them in to this address and this address only. Park Place Lanes, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087. Good luck, and we wish you well as you take part in our bonus ball contest here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Now, before we get back to the action, a quick check on the computer to verify the score of that first game as the double mark by Ron Simoneau with the 2 9-fills at the end gives him 137 and a 2-pin lead as we move into Game 2 here at Park Place Lanes. We're glad you're with us, our first championship week of the new season. The winner of this match to move into the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Boy, it was quiet in here before he rolled that first ball.
No.
Championship week, everybody on edge.
Oh. The air is thick.
Gets the spare.
Right where he left off the first game.
That's 6 marks for Ron Simoneau, all of them spares so far. No, and he's right in the pocket again, but look at the leave. Will he get help here? Not really. The 4, 9, and 10.
Well, I don't know. I might want to play the 4-pin. Maybe either way it's going to jump off that back piece of wood. I had to have the 4-pin though. Now he'll just take 1, possibly 2.
Gets 2 in the corner for the 9 bucks.
Three, 9, and 10. Piece of wood now resting against the 3-pin, turning a little bit. Whether it's enough to carry the 10, we'll see. That wasn't.
No. The ball flew right up and over the curtain. I was waiting for the ball to come down and maybe give him a second chance, but it never came back. Our presenting sponsor, as always, here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes, our friends at Tri-State Megabucks. Just imagine, you won't win if you don't play. Tri-State Megabucks. Always supporters of Candlepin Bowling and of Stars and Strikes here on the Winds, as Bob Kelly just misses on another spare attempt. And takes the 10. Let's see what happened on this one. Again, the ball flies up, but it never got over to the other side.
No.
So the lead is now 9 for Ron Simoneau. Ron catches a little bit of the Brooklyn pocket, and he'll have the 3-7 with wood. We have seen a lot of interesting splits in this series the last several weeks. We've seen an awful lot of splits, it seems.
So when you think you've seen every combination this possibly can be, then you see a few new ones. It's just the angle of a wood being different.
Right.
It changes a shot.
That's the beauty of the game, is you see the combinations of the pins a lot, but the wood can change everything, and there's just an unlimited number of combinations with that. And not enough. Well, he did what he had to do.
Yep, I thought he had, if he hit it low enough, he had a shot at the 7-pin also, but just didn't get it. That's a 9.
So 35 through 3. Brooklyn side again, strike number 1 for Ron Simoneau.
Brings a little smile to his face.
Well, you could tell it was only a matter of time. He was
on the head pin most of the day.
Bob Kelly answers right back. That's his third strike.
And Bob does not want to let Ron run too far ahead of him.
And another one. Double strike for Bob Kelly. That will take us to a break. Oh, we've got a honey of a match brewing here right now. Bob Kelly and Ron Simoneau for the championship. And we'll be back to Stars and Strikes in a minute. Well, we've got a lot of strikes working here as we come back in game two. Ron Simoneau is working on one. Pull that ball a little bit to the left.
Leaves himself to 1, 3, 4, and 7. I'd like to play this one on the inside, have the ball carry him off the head pin into the 2 in the corner. 7 fill and a strike.
And takes 9. 61 half, and halfway through the match, Ron Simoneau at 198. Not bad.
Not at all.
Especially first time on TV. Oh, another big first ball. Almost tapped the 5-pin for a strike. Ooh. Made that more of an adventure than I think he wanted, but...
Well, he's lucky the wood was frozen in the back, kicked it forward, but tomorrow we'll never know. They all look the same on the scoreboard. This is a big ball in this match, so early in the second string, but Bob Kelly working on a double strike. And that's another one in there.
Oh, look out! He's got a triple! Triple strike for Bob Kelly.
So rocking 2 and 5-pin to 5, and then finally the 2. So he's working on a triple. Can he throw 4? That looks pretty good too. Oh,
wow.
But he's threatening to turn a close match into one that he's going to have a substantial lead here when he gets through this series of marks. Wow. And all of a sudden he's leading by 34. Ron Simoneau right back in the pocket. 8-pin drop on the spare. Now's where you got to dig down and be a little more conscious on every ball you throw. Concentration has to reach a new level right now. You don't want to let Bob run any farther ahead than this.
Got it.
2 in a row.
Big shot there for Ron Simoneau.
Certainly was. After just facing a triple strike spare, come back with a couple of your own. Not bad.
Keep in mind here is we've got 2 very good triples running. Of course, today's winner is the first qualifier, so tough to know what will happen after this, but it's nice to post a big score. Look out! It's a 9 drop for Ron. He almost bought the strike. But either way, it looks like this is going to be a very good 3-string total to post for the Tournament of Champions in terms of seeding. Right along the edge of the lane, and boy, I'm not sure about that one, to be honest with you.
To tell you the truth, I think, well, I think we have to look at that, but I think that was no good. I think I saw the wood move prior to.
Well, we will record that as a 9 for now, and we'll check it during the next break, because we'll have to check that on replay. Very, very close call.
We got to alert the people in the truck to kind of mark that spot on the tape so we could go back to it, but for Ron's sake, I hope I'm wrong, but I thought I saw the wood move. So we're going to question the 8th box for Ron Simoneau.
And Bob Kelly will be looking at another spare leave here. The 5 and the 8. Spare in the 8 for Bob. No, this may be a fill ball. It may not be. Again, right now on the computer, we're showing 9 in the 8th box for Ron Simoneau. We're going to have to check that very closely in the during the break, but that is a spare in the 9th. No need to review that one. The NFL has gotten rid of it, but we still have instant replay for rulings like that in a case where it's clearly obvious.
Right.
Oh, big first ball this time, and a 9 drop. Wow. Boy, Ron is putting together a heck of a string. If that ball in between was in fact a spare. There's a spare in the 10th. Gonna be up over 130. Could be in the 140s if that ball in the 8th was a mark also.
And the wood in the gutter definitely moved. It's the matter of did it move before the balls came in contact with the 10-pin or afterwards, but we'll take a look.
Well, that's a 6 on that last mark, so for now it reads as a 142.
Could be a 149, I believe.
That's correct.
149. 149.
149.
Yeah, it was a 6 fill and the extra pin for the 9.
Bob Kelly working on a spare. Bob's got a possible 150 game going, or possible 160 game if he adds another mark. Of course, the triple strike helps.
He had 94 pins in those 4 boxes, 3 through 6.
They add up in a hurry when the first ball that you throw, when it's not a strike, if it's a big ball, that's the key. And he threw an 8 after rolling 3 strikes in a row and almost touches them all there.
Spun that 9-pin right around in its spot.
Spare in the 10th, 158 plus a ball. Well, Bob was saying at the end of last week's show he didn't know where his strike ball was. I guess he found it. He's got 5 of them today, including a triple. And 7 more for a 165. Well, we will take care of our little replay business during the break. 300 for 2 games for Bob Kelly. He's got a 21-pin lead, but it might not be 21. We'll have the ruling on that Ron Simoneau shot when we come back. All right, welcome back to Stars and Strikes, and here's what happened in the 8th frame for Ron Simoneau, and I'll tell you, it took a couple of times to be certain. It was very, very close.
After further review, if you watch the piece of wood that's pointing at us in the gutter, but watch the side kick where it meets that pin, you will start to see daylight just before it hits the wood in front of the pin. Right there, start to move, and then it hits the wood in front of the 10-pin. Watch it again. Watch the piece of wood in the gutter start to move right there.
Just a split second before. It really is basically one frame of video, which is just the smallest fraction of a second. But it was close enough to make the call, and so as the computer had it, as Dan Murphy had it in the naked eye,
let's give credit where credit is due.
Yes. It was a 9 box in the 8th frame. I'll tell you what, though, that was as close as you could possibly come.
Oh, I knew it all along.
Yeah, that's right. Are you working the crowd or working the match here?
7 and 10 for Bob Kelly. You know, spare or no spare, he's got 279 for 2. First time in front of the cameras and lights, and that's not too shabby. And still in the match, 21 pins behind Bob Kelly. You take away triple strike, which, you know, and triple strike is lucky. Let's face it. I mean, it could be 9-pin drops. You take that away, but Ron Simoneau still has the lead in this match. So. Well, much like the NFL when they had instant replay and other leagues,
the NHL notably, we don't make a call on instant replay unless it is obvious.
Yeah.
And
the best part of our replay is that we don't turn something into a 2-hour game into a 3-hour game. We still get it in an hour.
we have the long delay during the commercial break.
That's right.
Instead.
Bob Kelly through the middle. Looks it out for a 10. 19, opening for Ron Simoneau.
Now, I know we've talked about this before, but just to refresh everybody's memory, if when we had looked at that, the ball had made contact with the piece of wood in the channel and the piece of wood in fair play at the same time.
That's tie goes to the runner, tie goes to the bowler.
Then it's good.
It's good, yes.
So it was
Has
by
to be
that.
clearly one way.
Yep.
Well, he wants that head pin up. Here's a situation where you want that wood to freeze up against the 2-pin if it could, but he should be thinking, I have to have the 2-pin. No 2-pin, no spare. Oh, he's got a little bit to play with if he comes high in the wood.
Yes.
Nice shot.
Great
nice
shot.
You know, you talked about, here's the replay of that spare. Great shot by Ron. About the 2 totals we have going. And, you know, the qualification and Tournament of Champions. Wasn't it last year that Joe Ashley? Who had the big total last year?
Paul Berger.
Paul Berger. And that was early in the season, wasn't
Right.
it? The first or second ladder.
Stood the whole year, yeah.
Actually, it was the second because he got beat in the finals and he came right back. And then it stood up the entire season. So there's a 9-pin fill and another spare. And Mr. Simoneau is back in this match in a hurry. Down by 10, but he has a bonus ball coming. I'd say this match is just about even.
Bob Kelly having trouble finding the head pin all of a sudden. The 7 and the 9, and whatever shot he has is with the wood. Couldn't find it. Bob, to this point, 12 marks, 7 spares, and 5 strikes, including the turkey. Back on the head pin, and there is strike number 6.
Mercy. And there's no flukes in those strikes. They're all going. This is probably one of the slower ones, and that didn't last very long. 9-pin, last one to go. Well, Ron Simoneau just got to keep marking. Off target, but wait a minute. Wait a minute. Triangle in the right-hand corner. 6, 9, and 10. 2 pieces of wood out front.
Oh, yeah.
3 in a row.
Looked for a moment like he might be in trouble on the 9 and 10, but they both go. And Ron is going to take the lead, at least temporarily here, with this fill, if it's big enough. That's big enough. But it's going to be a tough spare leave.
Oh,
wow.
The wood actually cost him that 7-pin, I believe. Split the 1 and the 3. Head pin hit that piece of wood and deflected it away from the 7.
And that'll be a 9. No need to replay that one. We'll take a timeout. Bob Kelly trailing by 1, but working on a strike when we come back. Bob Kelly working on a strike to retake the lead.
Well, it's going to have some work on the 1, 3, 6, and 7. Takes the lead, but he does not put another mark on the board. Remember, he is bowling first. Ron Simoneau will have the last shot, 9th and 10th frames.
That's the one advantage you get by being the number 1 seed.
If you like situations like that.
Right.
I know some bowlers will rather get up there, put the score up, and then hope for the best, but I always like to know. triangle plus the 10. Not an easy spare leave here, so he could face 2 open frames.
Yep.
It's Ron Simoneau, I should say. He's facing 2 open frames, not Doug and I. 66. Well,
You can see Bob has retaken the lead by 8 in the match down in the lower left-hand corner, but 2 open frames here for Ron to work on. And he's got a split. So he'll spray and pray here.
that's about it. I try to shoot at the left-hand tip of that wood in front of the 6 and 10, and hopefully it snaps off the wall.
Nope, nothing doing.
Well, match 10 boxes here.
Gets it. I'll tell you, we could hardly ask for a better match. Our first championship match of the year. This has been terrific. Could be a couple of 400 triples here. And
oh, is that going to go? If not, he might have a roadblock with a piece of wood out front.
wow.
Now the wood's rolling left now. He's got the 9-pin still rocking.
Ron's only thrown 1 strike.
That's coming back again now, though. Well, might be a nice little guide for him. Doesn't need it.
Spare in the 6th.
Ice water in those veins. Clutch mark.
That will just about even it up as we head to the final 4. 500 to the runner-up, 1,000 to the winner, and Bob Kelly has another strike. That's 7.
I don't know if I wanted a bowler on my team that we needed a strike and have somebody go up there and try to throw one. Bob Kelly would be one of my guys. Slid off to the left that time. Well, he's lucky that it's a strike now. Still got another ball in the fill.
Got him dancing down there, but it's 9.
But it's still only 1 mark up there, so each time that happens, Ron Simoneau is still in this match.
10. Well, big ball right here for Ron Simoneau.
Absolutely. He wants another mark, but first and foremost, he wants, you know, a decent fill. 7 or better on the spare. Oh, missing the head pin.
Gets 1 extra. Gets just the 1 extra. It'll be a 5.
Well, that'll cut it to 2, at least temporarily, through 6 boxes, but he's opposite to strike 9.
Oh, good-looking shot, but does not carry the 9 and 10. Well, he'll be in the same spot he was in last time he came up. If he can put a mark up in the 8th, he'll be doing himself a favor heading into the final 2. Playing the wood here and gets neither. That could be a big miss. Just an 8. So the lead goes back up to 13 opposite the strike 9. You see how critical this box is now for Ron.
Yeah, because 13-pin lead, that usually means 2 marks. With only 3 boxes left, Bob Kelly's not yet bowled. I want to make sure I put one here. 4 horsemen right. Looks pretty good.
And
looks good.
Oh, no.
My. I don't know. It's all up to Bob Kelly. Let's put 1 mark up. It's going to really hurt. Puts 2 up. He could possibly lock him out depending on the fills.
Boy, that piece of wood that came down on the 10-pin, watch this. It bounced right in front of the 10-pin and
Actually,
stopped.
it was maybe a tad heavy on the head pin, but I thought it was in the pocket enough to carry the 10-pin, but not to be.
So 13-pin lead for Bob Kelly as he moves into the final 2.
Now, on the other side of this coin is Bob Kelly. If he doesn't mark, he does not want to give him a bad box and get the lead down under 10.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. Well, the best I see here is probably 8.
I'm sure
Maybe
Bob would
just
be
7.
happy with it. Well, he'll take the 8, I'm sure.
So let's assume that Ron Simoneau does not get a mark in the 9th, but throws a 10. That would cut it to 11. So Bobby wants at least a 10 box or better. Oh, boy.
Look out. Bob is already over 400.
My, my.
Ooh. Bob going for 2 and only gets 1, so an 8 and a 7, 110 and a 410 for Bob Kelly. Now the question is it good enough? That means Ron Simoneau will need a 132 in this game, so he needs 29 pins, which means he needs 1 big mark and a 10 bucks, probably.
Oops, he didn't want that last one to fall. Watch this.
No. That just made this shot a lot tougher.
What a bad break that was.
Yep. And Ron knows it, too. He just put his arms above his head.
Now, the only good part is this. He's got a piece of wood in between, so that 5-pin could jump towards a 10, but he might leave the 9. Now, he played it on the inside.
Well, now this pin is
critical.
Very important, and he may have to wait to shoot at it because that wood is in front.
If he gets it, he can still win it with a 20 bucks. If he misses it, it's a 20 to tie, right?
That's correct. No, actually 20 to win.
20 to win.
It would have been 20 to win. So now he needs 19. You're right. No, you're right the first time. It is 20 to win. He needs 132. Oh, I had a mistake on my sheet. That's why I had it wrong. So it is 19 to win right now.
Needs a mark. Back in the pocket again, and let's see.
Oh, my. Well, that piece of
wood is in play. It's another bad break.
Yep.
And it looks to me like it is.
Yeah, Cindy's going to go down and check it, but I have a feeling that is in play. Either way, it's going to be a difficult shot.
No, she's not even going to go any further than that, so you know it's not even close. You're just going to have to shoot for the cap and hope.
Let's see.
Oh, what a shot! Oh, my.
Well, it will come down to the last ball.
8 to tie, 9 to win.
That's correct. 8 pins to tie and force an overtime, 9 to win it on this ball. Here we go. And
it's a tie.
It is a tie. We will take a break, and when we come back, we will roll 2 boxes to settle this championship match. What a great match. 4-10 each, and we'll be back to settle it in a minute. All right, here we go in overtime.
Now, just for you people at home, too, this is like the 9th and 10th frames. So if they get a mark in the second box, they will fill it and then sit down.
My. Bob Kelly with another strike, his 8th of the match.
This one was on the light side, but good mixing action.
We should also explain, Dan, that for the purposes of the seeding for the Tournament of Champions, the winning score today will be 4-10.
That's right.
These extra 2 boxes, or however many we have to go, will not count. It'll be 4-10 for whoever moves into the final, into the tournament, I should say. Bob looking for the double mark and doesn't quite get it.
Well, it's going to take a double mark now to beat him, I believe. Some combination, anyways.
29. This is right where we came in. Ron Simoneau needed 29 to win last time, and he got 28 and forced us to the overtime. So let's see what he does this time. In overtime. Off the head pin.
Well, this is one that he missed in the 9th box that we thought he was going to get. 4 horsemen to the right.
Keep in mind, important to get a 10 box here if he doesn't get the mark. Oh, he's got the mark.
All right, strike will win it. Anything less than 9 without getting a mark, we'll go home.
Strike is an automatic win, though. Pull that one to the left also.
Now he needs to make this one.
And this one will not be easy either. The 1, 8, and 9.
Now, as far as Ron concerned, there's 1 pin. That's the head pin.
He's got it, but doesn't make the shot. And that does it. That does it. Bob Kelly has won it in overtime, 29 to 26. What a terrific match. And we will be back to talk to both bowlers and have the bonus ball contest in a minute. Well, keep the applause going here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes for Ron Simoneau. A terrific job, $500 for second place and forcing overtime. The bad news is, I guess you don't get the win, but the good news, first time on TV, 4-10 against a guy like Bob Kelly, and you take him to overtime. So,
well, it's the first time. I'll come back.
It was such a terrific match. Obviously, that close call that we had to look at over and over again in the second game, but then you came back anyway, and you still had a chance to win it in the end.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific stuff. I know you've been trying for many, many years to get here, so make sure it isn't 8 years before you come back again.
Oh, no, I won't try and do that.
Ron, congratulations. Terrific match. This applause is for you. Thanks very much. And Bob Kelly now for the bonus ball. For the final congratulations as well to Ron Simoneau. And now Bob will see if he can win one of you at home. $90 in the jackpot, and it's a 6. And we'll see if Dan can reach out with a match here. And it is not a match for John Pierzynski from Lowell, Mass. Congratulations, John, for having your card drawn. We'll send you a consolation gift. The jackpot will go up to $100 next week. And Mr. Kelly, you can now sit back and relax till spring, but you couldn't relax during this hour.
Was the 100th time on here or what? I mean, it's unbelievable. First time on, 410, very impressed.
Very, very impressive. He just didn't let you run away, even with a triple strike.
Well, he come back. I opened up the first 4 boxes. He came right up, filled it right up, and get right back in the match. And tried to give it away in the last 2 boxes, won at 15. I thought it was all done, but you know, we got a little luck on our side today.
Well, the good news for you, too, is not only the win, you're already in the Tournament of Champions, but 410, you get a pretty good-looking score up there on the board.
Yeah, we'll take it. Get that big monkey off my back.
Well, congratulations. I know you were really looking forward to winning one of these again, so you've got it in the bank, and we'll see you in the spring.
Very good.
All right, Bob Kelly, congratulations. Also, before you go away, there's this little matter of a $1,000 check. I don't want to forget that.
Be upset about that.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. Congratulations. That'll about do it here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We're running out of time, so for Dan Murphy, I'm Doug Brown. Don't forget, next weekend, Saturday at noon, Candlepin Skins. Sunday at noon, we'll have a brand new series here on Stars and Strikes. Until then, have a great week, everybody.